From nervous to natural.
Welcome to our podcast. Hi, I'm Natalie.
And I'm Joe. We're so excited to bring you a special story today. About a young man named Jason who dreams of becoming an actor.
That's right. The story is called From Nervous to Natural. Let's dive into the story.
Jason had always dreamed of becoming an actor. Ever since he was a child, he loved performing in front of his family, imitating characters from his favorite movies. Now, as a university student, he finally had a chance to prove himself. He had landed the lead role in the school's annual theater production. On the night of the big performance, Jason stood backstage, his hands trembling.
What if I forget my lines? What if I mess up?
Relax, Jason. You've rehearsed for weeks. Just go out there and break a leg.
Break a leg? Why would you say that?
It's just an expression. It actually means good luck in the theater world.
And that's the end of the first part of the story. Jason is nervous before his big performance, and Emily tells him to break a leg.
But before we continue, let's talk about 3 difficult words from this part of the story.
The first word is trembling. It means shaking slightly, usually because of fear or anxiety.
The story said, on the night of the big performance, Jason stood backstage, his hands trembling.
Another example, she was so scared of the thunderstorm that her hands started trembling.
The second word is rehearsed, which means practicing something, especially a performance, to make it perfect.
The story said, relax, Jason, you rehearsed for weeks.
Another example, before the concert, the band rehearsed their song several times.
And the third word is expression. An expression is a phrase or saying that conveys a certain meaning.
The story said, it's just an expression. It actually means good luck in the theater world.
Another example, the phrase piece of cake is an expression that means something is very easy.
Now that we've explained those words, let's continue with the second part of the story.
Still a little nervous, Jason took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. As soon as he performed his first line, the fear melted away. He lost himself in the character, feeling the energy of the audience. Every scene went smoothly, and by the final act, the crowd was completely captivated.
That was part 2. Jason overcame his fear and performed confidently on stage.
Let's go over 3 difficult words from this section.
The first word is performed. It means to carry out an action, especially as part of a play or show.
The story said, as soon as he performed his first line, the fear melted away.
Another example, the actor performed his role with such passion that the audience was moved.
The second word is captivated. It means to attract and hold the attention or interest of someone.
The story said, by the final act, the crowd was completely captivated.
Another example, the magician's tricks captivated the audience.
And the third one is a phrasal verb, melted away. Melted away means to disappear or lessen gradually.
The story suggested, as soon as he performed his first line, the fear melted away.
Another example, after hearing the good news, all her stress melted away.
Now, let's move on to the final part of the story.
When the play ended, the theater erupted in applause. Jason smiled, realizing that Emily had been right. He had given his best performance. Backstage, she greeted him with a playful nudge.
Ha! See? I told you to break a leg, and you nailed it.
From that day on, Jason never feared the stage again, and before every performance, he always remembered to say, break a leg.
And that's the end of our story. Jason gave an amazing performance, and now he understands what break a leg really means.
Let's go over 3 final words from this part.
The first word is erupted. It means to burst out suddenly, like when something loud or intense happens.
The story said, when the play ended, the theater erupted in applause.
Another example, the stadium erupted in cheers when the team scored the winning goal.
The second word is nudge, and nudge is a gentle push or poke to get someone's attention or to encourage them.
The story said, backstage, she greeted him with a playful nudge.
Another example, he gave his friend a nudge to get his attention.
Lastly, nailed it, which means to do something perfectly or successfully.
The story said, see, I told you to break a leg, and you nailed it.
Another example, she practiced hard for her speech and totally nailed it.
Well, it's time to test your understanding of the words from this episode. Test 1. Multiple choice 1 point each.
Question 1. What does the word trembling mean? The answer is be shaking slightly due to fear or anxiety.
Question 2. What does the word rehearse mean? The answer is B, to practice something before performing it.
Question 3. What does the word performed mean? The answer is C, to carry out an action, especially as part of a show.
Question 4. What does the word captivated mean? The answer is B, to be interested and fascinated by something.
Question 5. What does the phrase melted away mean? The answer is to disappear gradually.
Question 6. What does the word erupted mean? The answer is B, to break out suddenly, often with noise or force.
Question 7. What does the word nudge mean?
The answer is a gentle push or poke to get someone's attention. Question 8. What does the phrase nailed it mean? The answer is D, to do something perfectly or successfully. Test 2. Fill in the blanks 1 point each.
Question 1. Jason was so nervous before the play, but once he stepped on stage, his fear. And he performed perfectly. The answer is melted away. Jason was so nervous before the play, but once he stepped on stage, his fear melted away and he performed perfectly.
Question 2. The crowd was completely. By the magician's tricks. The answer is captivated. The crowd was completely captivated by the magician's tricks.
Question 3. Before the concert, the musicians. Their songs to make sure they were ready. The answer is rehearsed. Before the concert, the musicians rehearsed their songs to make sure they were ready.
Question 4. When Jason went on stage, his hands were. From nervousness. The answer is trembling. When Jason went on stage, his hands were trembling from nervousness.
And that's it for today's podcast. Tell us how many points you got on this test. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned some useful English words. If you like this episode, stay connected and subscribe to our channel. Join us next time for more stories and learning.
We look forward to having you back in the future.
Take care and see you next time.